Hello and welcome. Welcome to Everything is Energy, and welcome to the new moon in the sign of Aquarius, which takes place on the 29th of January 2025. The new moon is exact at 4:35 a.m. Pacific time, and as with all new moons, we have a conjunction between the sun and the moon. They are at exactly the same place, which happens to be 9 degrees of Aquarius. Aquarius is fixed masculine air. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus reminds us that we are the high technology we seek. Aquarius is an extroverted sign. It's also a sign that's about decentralized power. It also has a tendency to seem a little bit outlandish, its ideas, or some of the ways its new ideas come through, but the outlandishness is really because Aquarius is very comfortable with moving away from the status quo and visioning and creating a bright new future. Aquarius, let's remember, comes right after the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of structure. So Aquarius offers the antidote about freedom of expression, fighting for one's cause. That cause might be justice, it might be freedom, it might be peace. It's also worth noting that this new moon begins the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. And with this new moon, we're in a number 9 year. We are at 9 degrees of Aquarius. And for the Chinese zodiac calendar, this is the year of the wood snake. And serpentine energy is primordial energy. We just came off the heels of a dragon year. But if we think about the snake energy, what is serpentine and snake energy evoke in you? Potentially, there's a little bit of fear. As a collective, we have a lot of dissociation with serpent energy, but we might sense that it does feel fairly primordial or primal or instinctive, excuse me. But the snake is also associated with transformation and with healing. If we think about what the modern sign of medicine is in the Western world, it's the caduceus, which harkens back to ancient times with a serpent, 1 or 2 serpents wrapped around a staff, being associated with very talented, almost out of this world healers. And in the Hindu yoga traditions, you may be aware that there's an understanding that there are 2 lines of serpent-like energy that run up and down the human spine. So the energy of the snake is very much about rebirth, very much about being willing to trust our primal instincts and to go with the flow of the process of transformation. And it just so happens, as I mentioned, that this year is the year of the wood snake. And in traditional Chinese medicine, 5-element theory, the wood element is the first of the 5 elements. It's associated with the energy of mourning, with the energy of birth and childhood. It's associated with the season of spring. So the wood snake has the potential to offer us a period of tremendous growth, change, and expansion, and rebirth. So the energy here, if we think about it, it's almost like a pushing up or an acceleration beyond linear time and space. And finally, in traditional Chinese medicine, it's worth noting that wood as an element represents the liver and the gallbladder, and the liver is considered to be the grand architect of our vision for the future. So we can rest assured that whatever it is that we are moving through in this next cycle of time, that the stars and the astrology and many ancient cultures are telling us, yes, you are living in a time of rebirth and transformation. So hopefully that helps you take a deep breath and settle in. And let's look at what else is going on in this chart for this new moon. We also have, so we have the sun and the moon conjunct at 9 degrees of Aquarius. It's worth noting, I wanted to bring up before we move into what else is going on in Aquarius, the Sabian symbol for 9 degrees of Aquarius. Sabian symbols are something that was channeled, and I like to refer to it sometimes as it gives a very unique energetic for every single degree of the zodiac. 9 degrees of Aquarius is known as a person who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal. That person is made to realize that as a person, he is not this ideal. So the energy of 9 degrees of Aquarius is sort of like scales falling from one's eyes, whether it's about ourselves or our world or someone in particular, somebody, something, some aspect of our life that we put on a pedestal. We may start to realize that things are not as they seem. And this also indicates a time of transformation. If scales are falling from the eyes, it might signal that there's a space for us to work on ourselves, how we relate to ourselves. Maybe there's a way for us to embrace how we move through times of transition and times of change. So it might be something that we realize about ourselves, that we're not who we thought we were, but also it might be anything about our world or a person that is not the way we thought it was. So this revelation can be super amazing, but it also requires us to assess reality and to stay true to ourselves and to, as I've mentioned before, be wary of fleeting opportunities or this idea that somebody has the final answer and somebody knows. There's part of us as we're humans are habitual creatures. We really only truly change when we're forced to, many say, and we're moving through a time of change. And there is this kind of wanting to grasp before we're being ushered into the river. We're trying to grasp at the shore. But the energy of 9 degrees of Aquarius says, hang on. Be in the flow. Be in the process. Stay true to who you are. Be a part of this big awakening. The other neat thing about this 9 degrees of Aquarius, though, is it symbolizes the idea of waking up just in time, of being at just the right place at just the right time. So I wanted to share that with you because I think it also adds a background to this, and another sort of swath of color to this idea of, yes, we're moving through times of transformation. And yes, the stars and the astrology are reminding us to stay present and stay true. And also, let's look at this chart. We also have Pluto conjunct Mercury in the sign of Aquarius for this new moon. Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius. Mercury is at 2. Both of these are anaretic degrees, as I've mentioned before. And we just came through Pluto at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, the 29th degree. That's known as the shadow space, or the space where we get the sense of what needs to be released from the sign. But the early anaretic degrees, the 1st and 2nd degrees, are more the big picture, visionary insight degrees. And in this case, the sign of Aquarius is we have the opportunity to fully embrace all of the power and the potential of a sign. So the first 2 degrees, or maybe 3, depending on who you're speaking to, they ask us what's the best possible outcome of the energetic of this sign. What's the highest octave that we can achieve? And it's almost that these first degrees are akin to when a baby takes its first breath. That is when we do an astrology birth chart. We want to know what was the precise energetic, the moment this being took its first breath. What did it come to know as reality as a starting point? So the first degrees are just like that. It's a thumbprint of what's possible. We have Pluto and Mercury in Aquarius, so that is, Pluto's the sign of transformation, death, and rebirth. Mercury is a sign of 3D communication. So there's going to be the potential for us to have downloads about transformations that are happening, about how and why we communicate. And in the sign of Aquarius, at these beginning degrees are reminding us about the importance of meaningful communication, communicating with integrity, feeling into the energetic of the truth of the communication. So that's Pluto and Mercury at the first few degrees of Aquarius. Pluto and Mercury are trining together Jupiter in Gemini. A trine has the potential to be a really easy flow of energy. And this flow is helping us to tap into the expansion and luck that might be present in the sign of the twins. Gemini reminds us that there are as many points of view as there are human beings, that all points of view have some form of validity, even if it's only to the person. But the idea here with Jupiter and Gemini is that everyone's welcome. And there's something about integrity and meaningful communication that's coming up. So this also gets back to the Sabian symbol for 9 degrees of Aquarius, which is we are in it right now. Let's get into the river and flow together and be willing to not need to grasp onto the shore. And trust that the ebbs and the eddies and the flows are all going to be part of some perfect type of tapestry that in the next year or several years of time, we will look back and realize, wow, I was always at the right place at the right time. We have something else going on in this chart that's worth focusing on here. We have Venus and Neptune and North Node in a conjunction in the sign of Pisces. We also have Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Pisces, if Capricorn comes before Aquarius, Aquarius ushers us into Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Pisces is the most sensitive sign of the zodiac. Pisces invites us to remember all the lessons of the trip around the zodiac wheel and to really be true to what it is that we have experienced. Pisces is ruled by the sign of Neptune, and it's perfect that we have Venus conjunct Neptune in the North Node in Pisces. That is, the North Node is where we're headed as the collective. Neptune is the planet of illusion and delusion. Neptune's also associated with water. Venus is reminding us of the need for community, the need for harmony, the need for beauty, the need for staying present and enjoying the process and the moment and the high ideal of love. Those three in a tight conjunction also are activating Saturn, which is in the sign of Pisces. And it's worth noting that both Saturn and Neptune are at this last degree of the zodiac, Pisces, and they're going to be 2025 and fully in 2026 stepping out of Pisces and moving into Aries. So this new moon is going to give us some inklings of what's going on, because we have right now the North Node, Neptune, and Venus at the anaretic degrees of Pisces. Soon enough, Saturn will be right there too. These final anaretic degrees, as I mentioned before, have the potential to show us if there's anything lurking that we're not looking at that's ready to be released. So here, this time is reminding us to dig a little bit deeper and to go back and to review and to revise and to see how we can claim our power in the stories that we tell ourselves and each other about the world that we live in. There might be what we can prove to be true in reality, but that might not be of the same, I'm going to use the word again, octave, because we're reaching for higher octaves of energy. That might not be the right octave of what we really want to experience. So as we're ushering in the energies of this new moon, part of this conjunction of planets in Pisces, at the anaretic degrees of Pisces, is reminding us to to be really, truly true to the highest vision and version of ourselves in our lives, and not just get stuck in the mundane and the retelling and the day-to-day, to step into the embodiment of ourselves as creators. This is truly an exciting time to be on our planet, and it's totally okay if some days you just want to take a time out. The most important thing we can do, and we're going to get to a meditation here with the energy of the wood snake, is to be true to ourselves and to trust our instincts, to trust what we know, to trust the energy that we embody. But also to remember that we are not islands. We don't exist in a vacuum, that we are being ushered into this age and this time of remembering and embodying that we are all connected, that we all raise and rise and transform together, and that we each play a unique role in the tapestry of this transformation. Before we get to meditation, I'll do one more invitation to my upcoming astrology course. We have our meet and greet just before this new moon. The course begins just a couple days after this new moon. It's 6+ weeks of a deep dive, personal paced, live gatherings if you like, astrology course intended to empower you in embracing the energy of the cosmos as we move through these times of transformation together. I'll put a link in the notes, and then let's get to a meditation now. Find somewhere where you can sit or lie, somewhere where you can close your eyes and be undisturbed for the next little bit of time. As you close your eyes, bring your awareness into your physical body first, and notice that your spine is straight. Maybe notice also if there's any other areas that are calling for your attention, if there's anywhere that you might want to bring the energy of your breath to an area of tension and help your awareness and your breath release the tension. Let's breathe in through the nose and release through the mouth. And imagine as you breathe in, you're taking in fresh prana. You are taking in fresh prana. Just visualize and experience that. And as you're breathing out, you're releasing stale energy, anything that's ready to go. So we'll take a few breaths here. Maybe you just simply breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or maybe you, as I mentioned, if there's any areas in your body that might be holding tension, maybe you can breathe into those areas. And imagine as you exhale that you're releasing any holding that's present in the body. Wonderful. And as you now continue to turn your awareness inward, even more deeply beyond the realm of the physical and into the realm of energetic. We instinctively know on some level that we are energetic beings. Some disciplines talk about us having a physical body, but also an emotional and a mental and a spiritual body. So I invite you now to just check out the landscape of your thoughts and your emotions. Breathing in now, just observing what's present. Without judgment, just noticing how you are right now in this moment as you check in. And as you exhale, again, let that be the opportunity to release anything that's ready to go. And we'll spend a few more rounds of breath here, just coming present to ourselves in this moment of time, whenever you find this meditation. And the exhale, maybe it's even slightly audible, is the opportunity for letting go. take a journey with me into a wooded area at the time of spring. You're walking barefoot amongst the trees and the plants and the birds and the forest animals. You can feel the sun coming through the dappled light on your skin. You can feel the warmth and the sweetness. You can smell the sweetness in the air. And you can hear the chirping of newly hatched baby birds, the excitement of the energy of spring is palpable. And you come to a clearing with a large circular, some kind of dark stone rock, obsidian or granite. And you notice that something is coiled in the center. And as you approach the stone, you can tell that there is a snake present. And so, depending on how comfortable you are with interacting with serpents, you can pause at whatever space feels extra safe for you. You might be observing from 100 yards. You might walk right up and get within 6 inches. Regardless, know that you're safe. And this snake is a white snake. It's coiled up, but it's relaxed. Its head is resting almost towards its tail, and it looks at you with its dark eyes, connecting, reading who you are. And as you look at the snake, you can see the intricate patterns, the grays and the taupe and the beige that interplay to create this beautiful pattern of expression of who this snake is. And it's a pure white snake with dark black eyes. And as you're looking into its eyes, you get the sense that you're staring into the depths of the universe. And now you, at whatever distance you've chosen to be, you're still standing. You begin to walk. You're guided as if the snake is showing you to walk in a counterclockwise direction around this stone and around this snake. And the snake is turning its head to stay connected to you, looking deeply into your eyes as you're walking around it. Feel the softness of the soil beneath your feet. There's still the dappled warmth of the sunlight, the sweetness of spring in the air. And as you make a full counterclockwise circle around this snake, you come back to where you began. And you're still looking into the eyes of this serpent. And now take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe in, feel yourself rooted into the ground. And as you breathe out, feel your heart begin to open. And it's okay if this feels a little bit challenging. As I mentioned, snakes aren't the most popular animal in modern culture, but they are powerful. See if you can open your heart to this serpent. This white serpent with deep black eyes. And as you're opening your heart, the serpent raises its head up just about 3 inches, and it's looking at you, and it's flicking its tongue as if it's trying to speak to you in response to your opening your heart. And it stays stationary, but it can tell that you're seeking to connect with it. And now you feel guided to walk in a circle, but this time clockwise, back around. Keeping your feet rooted into the ground, keeping your heart open, and keeping your eyes locked into the eyes of the serpent. So taking your time, however long you need, walk and circle all the way around this snake and stay connected to it. And as you complete this circle, coming back to the place that you started, you're guided by some inner knowing to take a seat and to bring your heart to the level of eye level of this snake. So you're looking at the snake, however far or close you are to it, and feel deeply rooted and open-hearted and know that you are seen. You are safe, you are seen, you are held, and you're meeting this primal, primordial, transformational energy. And now, with your heart open, allow your third eye to open as well. And so you're looking now at the snake with your physical eyes, but you're also opening up your third eye to connect to the wisdom and the knowing of this serpent. This is the energetic, as I mentioned, it's not just serpentine energy, but it's the wood snake. The wood snake is the snake associated with birth and renewal and transformation. And the snake energy is inextricably associated with transformation, shedding of skin, shedding of old, trusting our instincts. So now just receive into your heart and into your third eye whatever transmission this wood snake has for you. There is some sense of this energy and this transmission being so ancient and so wise. If we think about one of the reasons why many in the West are afraid of snakes, it's because it is this primal, primordial energy that they represent. And it's something that we often have become very dissociated with. So see if you can just breathe and continue to keep your heart open, looking into the eyes of this snake, receiving a transmission into your third eye and your heart about this lunar cycle, about these times of transformation, about your space and place, and the unique role that you're here to play. And as you're communing with this serpent, the natural world around you seems to come to understand that something really special is happening. The birds gather around you. The hummingbirds are flying. Maybe there's even frogs that are hopping around, flowers that are blooming. A slight breeze is moving through this place as if the entire natural world is experiencing this download with you, reminding you that you are inextricably interconnected to everything. And now it's just spending a little bit more time here. Maybe you can relax a little bit, soften a little bit, and open to receive any other words or visions or pieces of wisdom from this serpent about your life, about our world, about these times of transformation. And then once this transmission is complete, the snake puts its tongue back inside its mouth and it lowers its head. It's still looking at you, but it sort of physically with its gestures symbolizes that the transmission is complete. Send a pulse of gratitude from your heart to this serpent for the wisdom that you received today and for what is likely going to be an ongoing unfolding of this energy, of this download. So thanking this snake, sending gratitude, then you get up. And as you stand up, you're again greeted by this chorus of the natural world. There are birds soaring up above, there's smaller birds hopping around. As I mentioned, other types of wildlife, a soft breeze, as if the natural world is celebrating your having come to this sacred space to connect with this animal that they know is so powerful. And is presenting itself during this new moon, during this next cycle of time, this whole year cycle, to support us in shedding what no longer serves us and into being fluid and flowing and open to the beauty and the magic and the mystery that is to come. Thank you so much for joining me with this meditation. Whenever you happen to find this meditation, this energy is encapsulated. So whether or not you find it on the 29th of January is kind of irrelevant. I'm grateful to have you and all of the thousands and thousands of people in the hundreds and hundreds of countries who are coming together to co-create, to weave, to add our light together. And I truly believe that we are the change and that we are doing it. And it's a good reminder that the physical world is the last thing to show us the evidence that we are energetic beings. So the more time that we can spend in this energetic space, the more we're able to accelerate these processes of transformation. I'll put a link to my blog post about this new moon, and as I mentioned, I'll put a link to my astrology course. Happy new moon, and I'm grateful for you.